So we're going to bring up our next presenter, who is actually a friend of mine and does the posters for, I think, the last couple of PKs, and he does such a wonderful job. One of my favorite illustrators in town. David is a graphic designer and illustrator who finds inspiration in every day from his Twitter feed. He says he is fascinated by the different ways that people tell stories, whether they write novels, record documents, or post 140 characters on the web. So, ladies and gentlemen, my friend, your illustrator, David Michael Moore.
I admit I am a perfectionist, which has been most evident from my repeated attempts to write an informative yet endearing introduction for myself. Though I thought perfectionism was a positive trait, it came loaded with some baggage, a big fear of failure, and a small tolerance for risk. And that's no good because you end up with a lot of dreams and not much to show for it. My inner critic had really stifled my creative impulse. But I didn't know how to let that critic go. I felt it had protected me, because life teaches you pretty quickly that failure hurts. It's embarrassing. It's painful. Maybe not physically, really, or could be physical. But we live in a culture of criticism where every web page has a comment section, and what you see has been upvoted or downvoted in a very public way. But it wasn't always this way. I brought some of my artwork from kindergarten for a little show and tell. So some context, in 1989, Ghostbusters 2 hits theaters, and it blows my tiny 5-year-old mind. So I start drawing different scenes and new vehicles, like the Ecto-85 yellow submarine up there, and Ecto-22 moon buggy, and it's awesome, right? There's a joy in creation only limited by how many sheets of paper and working markers I can get my hands on. Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once he grows up. Pablo Picasso said that, and I agree. So to go forward, I had to go back a bit and find out why I had restrained this natural impulse to create. And here are a few things that I learned. Create art for yourself. Don't show anybody. Make it just for you, and make art that makes you happy. Keep it all to yourself. Make weird, ugly, passionate, scary, deeply personal, and forbidden things. Give yourself permission to do things the wrong way, because nobody's looking. Stretch yourself, but don't stress yourself. The goal is to connect to your passion, which means moving the creative process from a place of fear to a place of love. And that's where things really start to get going. Draw first, ask questions later. Instead of filtering what you create, put something on paper and get that jumble of thoughts out of your head. Self-censoring can be hard to defeat, but what I found was helpful is to give myself a time limit so there was no room to go back and mull over a particular thought. Concentrate on moving forward. This helped me get in tune with my heart and a few of my raw creative instincts. You see, it was hard to exercise my creativity when my process had revolved around reactivity. My artwork was already bending to pressures from others as well as my own self-critic before I could draw the first line. So always take the opportunity to make your thought a tangible thing as soon as you can. On this side of action, without opening the door, you don't have many tools to explore the idea that's in your head. Oftentimes, you don't know what that thing is until it is out of you. Then you can wrestle with it, like that alien space creature. So I'm a part of an improv team, and one of the key lessons I've learned is the power of yes and. Failure seems like it would be a big deal when you're on stage with no script, but, and this is the big secret, you can say anything, like anything, and all you need is somebody to agree with you. It's as easy as that. Once you have agreement, it becomes fact. An entire scene is created by hundreds of little yeses. You realize that there's no right or wrong answers, only progress. When you always say yes to your fellow performers, you're creating a safe space for creativity. And by the end of it all, you end up something crazy like polo curling championships for Cupids. You look back on your performance and you wonder how you've gotten there. But that's the wonderful thing. I learned to leave all my expectations behind and accept what was given to me with gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful force, and nothing frustrates me more than the entitlement that seems to be ever present in my generation, Generation Y. And I think I found the solution. It's doing stuff. Doing hard work naturally leads to an appreciation of the hard work that other people do. So go out, tell somebody thank you, and thank you for that rant. I'd like to share one project I'm working on right now. It's about making art every day. It's about drawing spontaneously. It's about surprising people. It's artwork inspired by tweets like this one from Mindy Kaling. I take a tweet like this, illustrate it, and then turn it into this. I reply back to them with a picture. If you've never used Twitter before, it's kind of like eavesdropping on a conversation that the whole world is having. And it's wonderful. The moment someone says something, anyone can hear it. And I use Twitter as a tool to look for things that inspire me, things that make me laugh or think about the world in a new way. I wish I had more time to read, he said, as Netflix automatically played the next episode. I give myself about an hour to turn a fleeting 140-character statement into a piece of art with a sense of permanence. So even this statement, "It's not you, it's DiGiorno," can be profound. I send a lot of this artwork into the world before I have time to evaluate it. It's on purpose. I know what I could do better. But if I had the same view of failure that I did the few years ago, I wouldn't be doing this at all. I thought success and failure were two sides of a coin, and you knew decidedly where you had fallen. But now I think a better analogy is a recipe, where success and failure are two equal ingredients for growth and progress. I think back to my childhood, and it makes sense. So many things I wanted to do were qualified with the statement, "when I grow up." And I think we forget, now that we're grown adults, that there's still a lot more growing left to do. As a kid, I could see a world of possibility in front of me. I just need to remind myself that that world of possibility is still there. Do something that your 5-year-old self will thank you for.